Please be seated.
Yes, please. Sit down. Yeah.
One unknown writer shared this bit of wisdom in saying, fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. We are here today because of courageous parents, courageous spirit found in the class of 2017, a desire to do well, to be creative, to be courageous, and to be compassionate. This is no small achievement. This is no slender victory. They have paid the price to be able to enter into that next phase of life for which they are well prepared. At this moment, allow me to recognize our special guest, our First Lady, Dr. Nancy Massey. Board of Trustees, Mr. Clarence Haynes, Chairman, Ms. Frances Taylor, Mr. Pat Green and his lovely wife, Marilyn, Mr. Ronnie Garrett and his lovely wife, Joan, Chip Dobbs, Mr. Jackie Smith and his lovely wife, Doris, Attorney Jake Montgomery, former trustee. From the Foundation Board of Directors, Mr. Fred McCollum, President. Thank you so much for your presence as we go forward to salute the courage, compassion, and the creativity of the class of 2017. At this moment, I will give way for greetings from Mr. Tyrell Holmes, ASD.
We, the third class of 2017, welcome you to baccalaureate. Did you will be here today? Did you, the Dr. May, Miss Hinton, AIDB trusted, Miss Laura Graham, Benjamin, and friends for taking time to be with us on our respectful stay.
Thank you so much, Ariel. And now, invoking the presence of God will be Amy Kaya Long from ASD. ASB.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day, which is just one of the thousands of gifts that you have given us throughout our lives. Thank you for putting the right people in our lives at the right times. Please continue to watch over us as we transition from high school students to young adults. Pour your blessings out on those who have loved and cared for us. As we leave this place, we praise your holy name. Amen.
Kaya, thank you so much for that beautiful prayer. And now, prepare your hearts to be entertained and inspired with special music. Stand Together from the AIDB Ensemble, which is composed of ASB, HKS Chorus, and ASD Signers. not that amazing? Let's give them another hand. And now, we're at the arena of reflections from ASD, Christian Lady.
Good morning. I want to thank you for coming to our baccalaureate and celebrating this day with us, watching us as we get ready to walk on the stage in a few hours. Life teaches everyone a lesson through deep waters. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. Isaiah 43:2. What does this verse mean? What is God trying to tell us? He is informing us that no matter how hard the waves hit us, no matter how high the waves come up, He is holding us through it all. God taught me this lesson last year when you guys were in school focusing on sports and in the classroom listening to the teacher's presentations. I was battling a disorder. Depression took a hold of my life, and I had to take a break. I knew God was with me every step of the way. He would scream loudly at me, telling me not to let go because He was with me. Life was too much to bear at the moment, even though I heard Him and it felt unrealistic. You know how you can see a fly go by you, but you ignore it? It's the same concept. I heard Him, yeah, but I ignored Him. He was screaming and offering His hand out only for help, but I just could not accept His mercy. I was too afraid to reach out for help because I didn't know what to expect. As life was falling downhill, I could accept the pain I was dealing with. The pain was coming to the point where it was too much to handle on my own, so I had to do something. I had to find somebody. I had to find somebody bigger and stronger, more powerful, and that is where I found God. You know how anxiety develops in your life? Anxiety is a word that means faithless and doubtful. Lack of faith in God and doubt in who He is and what God is capable of doing. That is when depression finds its way in you. Yet, when you open up your eyes and realize that God has got your back the whole time, that is indeed when you experience true peace and true joy. Throughout this trial, my mother and father were never once left my side. To this day, they have not given up on me, and they are still supporting me. Mom and Dad, thank you for always being amazing parents, and I can't thank God enough for blessing me with parents like you. The important lesson I learned through this is God loves you no matter how far you fall into darkness. He tells us in the Bible, I loved you at your darkest, Romans 5:8. we will make mistakes that we never imagined ourselves making. However, just remember, it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to make mistakes because we're human and God loves us no matter what. But remember this. Remember the people who stuck by our side. And remember the lessons we've learned. And remember, no matter what we do, God's perspective on us will never change. Now, let's spread our wings and soar to the sky. Take chances and live life. I don't expect us to be perfect, but I do have high expectations for my classmates to go out there and be the best we can be. And remember, we are the future role models.
Kristen, that was absolutely outstanding. Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us. And now, reflections from Curtis Taylor, ASB.
Good morning, students, staff, parents, and administration. I would like to thank you for attending our baccalaureate service. You don't know how much you impact our lives and how much we count on you. So I'd like to say thank you. When I first found out I had to write a speech, I started pulling my hair out. I didn't even know how to start my speech. I didn't know what I was going to say. And most of you know I'm not the best speller, so I knew there were many nights of spell check and Googling in my future. I didn't know how I wanted to do my speech, so I did what any other responsible adult would do. I Googled it. As I read through a couple of speeches, I couldn't find any that really sounded like me. But that was until my classmate, Kaya Long, told me, start by saying good morning. So I did. Today we close another chapter of our lives and we begin to start a new one. And as we go on, I see all the things we have achieved and all the family we have made. I'd like you to look back to when we first became high school students. We were all excited. Yes, just 4 more years of school. We were saying things like, I just can't wait to be finished. But as time got on, we made great friends, and slowly but surely began going down our own paths. But as we get older, there are things that I do realize. No matter what, some things just will never change. For example, Daniel and his bad blind jokes. Or Anicia Kennebrew or Christian Guevara's need to help every last person that they meet, no matter what. My class is different and unique in every way possible. You have the loud one, Daniel, and you have the quiet one, TJ. Then you have everybody else in the middle. The best way for me to describe my class is a puzzle. None of the pieces in the box fit at first, but as time goes by and the pieces get older and the edges trim down and they smooth out, we fit together perfectly. And we have made a lot of memories together, some good, some bad, but they are memories and we will never forget them. The one thing that I wish for my class is that all of our dreams come true. And I do believe that my class has the drive and the determination to make any dream possible. I can describe my class like this. We came together from different parts of the state, not knowing what was to come. But we formed a family, and this family that we've made is strong enough to last forever. Even though we don't always get along, we still love each other. Besides, what family doesn't fight every now and then? But in the end, we always come together. We are leaving our school with a couple of gifts. The gift of friendship, a gift of confidence, a gift of support, and a gift of drive. The drive will get us through the world. I believe we were handed a set of keys, the keys to success. And all we have to do is find the right door to each key. Thank you.
Curtis, that was absolutely amazing. Thank you. And now, one of my favorite thoughts come from the Christophers, who say that it is better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. We are blessed at AIDB because there are individuals with means, with commitment, who are willing to give of themselves and to give of their treasures in order to bless this great institution. Representing the chairman of the trustee board, Mr. Clarence Haynes.
To our speaker, Dr. Massey and Dr. Patterson, on behalf of the Board of Trustees who have graciously allowed me the privilege to bring greetings, I do appreciate their support. I'd like to welcome everyone here today. I would like to thank the parents for being here, for their support of these children, and for entrusting their children to us. I think this is, and I heard on national television a couple of Sundays ago, that this is the greatest institution in the world. And and to Dr. Massey and his president staff, to the faculty, the support staff, and I need to insert this. I noticed that it was rather warm when we began, and I saw a maintenance man just all of a sudden the air came on. That just shows you from top to bottom what a well-oiled machine this is, and I am so proud to be a part of it. To these beautiful minds, we extend our congratulations and thanks for what you have brought to the table for the last 4 years, and wish you well in your endeavors. I would like to personally ask you to go out and tell everybody that you encounter about AIDB, what a wonderful place that it is. And don't be strangers. This is your second home, and you'll see what a wonderful fraternity that you're fixing to become a part of. and that's these alumni associations who are very strong and somewhat the backbone of this place. Thank you all again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Haynes, and allow our appreciation to go forward to the entire Board of Trustees. There's a West African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, go with others. AIDB is fortunate, tremendously blessed to have a leader like Dr. John Massey, who understands how important it is for us to go far by moving together and heading in the direction of greatness. At this point, President of AIDB, Dr. John Massey.
Thank you, Dr. Patterson. Is everyone hearing me okay or accessing the interpreter well? Communication's good, great. Well, before I begin, graduates, I just want you to know, and now I'm not speaking to you as president of AIDB, I'm just speaking to you as a person. I know each and every one of you, and I just want you to know what an honor it is to have been part of your life for this period of time. And you all are very, very special people. And on behalf of my wife Nancy and my family and the AIDB family, I just want you to know how proud we are of each and every one of you. As we continue with our service, I want to share just a little story with you about the beautiful piano we're enjoying today. It's to my left and your right. You see, we're actually celebrating its homecoming to AIDB too. It was born in 1942. It's a Steinway grand piano. It's brown. It seems that a former teacher at the Alabama School for the Blind was the original owner of the piano, we think. We know that there's some, we're still researching it, but there's some connection to AIDB. Somehow, the piano found its way to a company in Tuscaloosa where a couple from Dothan bought it. Now fast forward to this year, 2017. Just a couple of weeks ago, the AIDB Foundation hosted an art showcase in Dothan at the home of trustee Joseph Johnson. The couple, David and Maureen Johnston, attended the event and the following day called to say they wanted their beautiful piano with the AIDB family connection to come home. We are blessed by their generosity and the legacy of service that it represents. Graduates, like this piano, please know that your AIDB family will always welcome you back home. Ronald Reagan said, "There are no such things as limits to growth, because there are no limits to the human capacity for intelligence, imagination, and wonder." What do you imagine your life will be like? At this crossroad in your life, you have to be thinking about your future, your career choice, where you want to live, your family, all the adventures that are before you. As most of you know, I love classic cars and have since I was young. At your age, I dreamed of a career that would allow me to work on cars, something that I was really interested in, still am. But people in my life who I respected helped guide me into looking into all options and expanding the limits of what I was thinking at the time. My father was a school teacher for years, and he talked about the first students he taught. He instilled in me that education was a priority for whatever I chose to do, and the belief that investing our time and our lives in the lives of others was a valuable calling. I went to college and became an audiologist, which led me to my life's work. I still love tinkering with my old cars, but my father helped me explore other ideas and the limitless options for my life. There were other people who influenced my thinking and challenged my limits and ideas too. Bob Smithis, a man who was totally deaf and blind. He was a life-changing example to me of what is possible if you don't set limitations on yourself. My mother-in-law, who was a successful teacher despite the challenges of muscular dystrophy, she reinforced in me that life's opportunities really are limitless if you don't set limitations on yourself and if you believe, truly believe in yourself. Paula Radcliffe, who has been the women's marathon world record holder for 13 years in a row, said this: "Never set limits. Go after your dreams and don't be afraid to push the boundaries. And laugh a lot. It's good for you." So graduates, you leave us today confident in your abilities and your accomplishments. Confident in the belief that you are not limited by deafness or blindness. You've proven that through your academic, athletic, creative, and leadership experiences at AIDB. Never set limits on yourself, and don't accept limits that others may try to place on you. That's very important. Always push your boundaries. Never stop setting new goals and believing in new dreams. Be lifelong learners. And smile while you're doing it. Life should be celebrated with laughter and with love. Our speaker today has demonstrated a limitless commitment to improving healthcare services in Alabama. Ms. Laura D. Grill is Executive Vice President, Administrator at East Alabama Medical Center in Opelika, and is our newest member of the AIDB Foundation Board of Directors. We're so thrilled to have her. Ms. Grill joined East Alabama Medical Center in June 1992. She previously served as Director of Cardiovascular and Critical Care Services at Brookwood Medical Center in Birmingham. Laura received her Bachelor of Science degree in nursing in 1984 from the University of Alabama at Birmingham and a master's degree in business administration in 1990 from the University of Alabama. Ms. Grill has served as adjunct professor at UAB School of Health-Related Professions and Auburn University School of Nursing. She is a member of the American Nurses Association, the American Association of Critical Care Nurses, American Organization of Nurse Executives, Healthcare Roundtable for Executives, American Hospital Association Political Action Committee, and Premier Incorporated Patient Care Executives. She's busy. She is involved in numerous community and civic organizations and is a Holy Trinity Episcopal Church lay Eucharist minister. Ms. Grill has served on the boards of J.W. Darden Wellness Foundation, Children's Medical Mission of Haiti, board member, Auburn University Women's Leadership, Habitat for Humanity of Lee County, and the Chamber of Commerce of Opelika. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Laura Grill.
Good morning. That sounded a lot more important than I think it really is. I just want to tell you how excited I am to be here with you all today. What an exciting day for everyone. It's an honor and a pleasure to look at and watch all of you graduates and know the accomplishments you'll have going forward in the next chapter in your lives. I know it's a wonderful day for your families, for the faculty and staff here, and all those that have been part of your extended family. So many people are so very proud of you. Psalms 118:24 says, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." A good friend of mine I work with used to start every meeting and say that, and it was very appropriate for today. So let me repeat it. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. We all have a reason to rejoice each and every day, but this is an extra special day to rejoice. Each of you have worked so very hard to get here, and you should be very, very proud of yourself. Being new to the foundation board and somewhat new to the school, always aware, but never really had the full impact until the first time I visited here. And I'm telling you, I was blown away by what you do. I visited science labs. I visited math classes, the library. I was blown away in multiplication bingo, where I could not get the answers as quick as the students were getting them. But I was just amazed. And I know some of you thought this day would never arrive, and you feared at times you couldn't do it, but I'm not surprised at all by what I've seen and witnessed here. And I know your families aren't either. In the Bible, Paul's letter to the Philippians 4:13, it says, "We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us." God gave you the determination. He gave you the fortitude and the guts to stick it out each day. And here you are now, just hours away from graduation and what's ahead for your life. I want you to always remember that you were created in the image of God. That verse in Philippians was one of my father's favorite verses. He used to quote it to us often in times in our lives that were a struggle. My parents raised us. They didn't go to college. They made sure the four of us did, and we stuck to what was ahead of us. And he would always remind us of that verse in Philippians. He would say, whatever life throws your way, keep your feet moving forward, lean on the one that loved you first. And as he would say, hold your head up and be proud of who you are in everything that you do. The challenge for you in the next step of your life is to find your purpose. By virtue of your hard work and your perseverance, your overcoming of obstacles, you're well on your way to that next part of your rewarding life. While this does mark the end of an exciting chapter in your life, it's not the end of the book. Your life story has many chapters, and there are countless people in your life who will touch your life and follow you throughout. By this time tomorrow, you will have turned your tassel. You will be high school graduates. That burden of that test and learning and all that is going to be over. You'll breathe a little easier because you will have done the thing that you were challenged to do. I can say the same thing because for me, I do not like to speak in public. So tomorrow will be a little bit easier for me, but I am so proud to do that here with you today. In Joshua 1:9, we read, "Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God goes with you wherever you go." I fully believe that God will carry you through any obstacles, struggles, temptations, and sometimes, yes, even failures that may come your way, but those things are temporary and they will pass away. God's love is eternal. It's eternal for you, it's permanent, and it's steadfast. Several years ago, I learned to lean on that verse. I heard the words, "No one wants to hear you have cancer." All the thoughts run through your mind. What about my job? What about my family? Will I be healed? Will I not? But I remember recalling that verse, be strong and be courageous as you face those challenges. And as you go forward, graduates, lean into that verse when times are tough. God is calling each of us to shine the light in the world, to share your gifts. You each have unique gifts and talents. Share those with others. God calls us to be his ambassadors. It is his royal priesthood, sharing his love with everyone. Again, we are to be the hands and feet of Christ in this world, to show friendship, to show patience, joy to a world that so desperately needs it at this time. I always remember when I hear the word joy, my mother would say, remember, do you know what joy means? And it was Jesus first, others second, and yourself last. That was the meaning of joy. I love that word. My mother did too. So sometimes this is easier said than done. But I believe in order to be the hands and feet of Christ and reflect the light of Christ, we have to spend time soaking up His presence and give our best when we are called. And don't hide or retreat into our safe places, but let our hearts be full. Allow Him to direct your path as you go forward, in good times and in bad. Know that God uses all of us, ordinary people, to do extraordinary things. You all are a shining example of that. We never know how we encounter some people in our lives, how we'll impact their lives, and how they'll impact ours. You all certainly have impacted my life. You never know who's watching you, who you will be an example to. I was thinking about having had the privilege of having my life impacted by a young man who I've known over the years, a dear family friend. The young man's name was Noah. Otherwise, he was known as the OHT, and that stood for orange-haired teen. He used to be the OHB, the orange-haired boy, and he grew into a teenager and a young man. Noah was born with some challenges, physically and mentally, and as Noah grew, he began to lose the ability to do certain things. As this progressed and his physical ability slowed, more motor functions, speech, those things. When Noah could no longer shake your hand, he could do one thing, and he could pound your fist. And that's what Noah did, and that meant, I am here for you. When he could no longer speak and tell you he loved you, he could touch your nose. This young man touched so many people's lives that his family was never aware of. There was a light in his eyes and a joy that he conveyed to everyone he met. It came to be known as the power of Noah. Noah lives in Michigan. We're here in Alabama, and I can tell you I've heard the story of Noah from Texas to Michigan to Atlanta to Alabama. Noah never knew what impact he would make on people's lives, but God knew. And God knows what we're all called here to do. The prophet Jeremiah tells us in verse 29, verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you." The Lord declares this: plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. God has a wonderful plan for your life as you move forward. You'll have many joyous events and mountaintop moments. Remember that God is right there celebrating with you. Throughout your life, you will, as I said, go through some tough times, and you'll face some hard and tough decisions, stressful events, heartbreak, sadness, but He will never leave you through this process. A friend of mine, also that I work with, has a son also graduating this evening. He's graduating from Auburn High School. And when John would talk with his son, he often would refer to something in abbreviation. He would say, let's focus on PhD. Now, some of us know that means you're going to get your doctorate in a particular field. But for John and his son Will, PhD stood for passion, hustle, and determination, whatever he did in his life, whether that was academics or whether that was a soccer field or whatever event. So no matter what you attempt to do in life, do it with passion. Find what you're passionate about. Work hard as you have here, and be determined. Never, ever give up on your dreams. And as you leave here today, I encourage you to go forth again with that same passion, hustle, and determination that got you where you are this very day. Know that, again, God has a plan for your life, as it said, to prosper you, to be successful, and a future. And lastly, in the 13th chapter and the 13th verse of the first letter to the Corinthians, And now faith, hope, and love remain, but the greatest of these is love. Have faith that God will be with you in this journey every step of the way. Have hope that God will continue to bless your life with an incredible future, and more importantly, love others unconditionally. So faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love. Good luck as you begin your new future and your next journey. May God richly bless your lives and follow you. And thank you again for allowing me to be part of this special day, this very special occasion, and this wonderful organization. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you.
Lauren, thank you so much for those inspirational words, and more important, thank you for allowing yourself to be touched by the AIDB family. It's a pleasure to have you as part of that family now. We have some special wall candy for you. We have a bunch of it, and this is, I'll describe it. It's a picture of this chapel. It says the Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind, 1985. And then there's a plaque, and it says Laura D. Grill, in appreciation, baccalaureate speaker, Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind, May 25th, 2017. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Grill. You blessed us. And now let's continue with presentations. At this particular point, from ASD, Eloy Ramirez Garcia and Tyrell Holmes. ASD.
I want to thank you this morning and for coming and presenting this morning. And we will have a gift for you from ASD.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. And in the spirit of continuation, from ASB is Christian Guevara. Christian Guevara.
On behalf of the ASB senior class, I would like to present this artwork to you as a gift of our appreciation.
Thank you so much, Christian. From HKS, it's Tyler Sturdivant and Patrick Johnson.
On behalf of the Helen Keller School, we would like to present you with this gift of love.
Thank you so much.
As you go forward for the rest of the day, I know you're going to really enjoy yourselves. Enjoy this. You've earned it. You've reached this point. Parents, friends, supporters, thank you so much for being here and sharing this hour. At this point, Joel Farmer from ASD will deliver the benediction.
Dear Father, we want to thank you for this very special day. We want to thank each person here and everything they have done for us. Dear Father, thank you for watching over us, protecting us, and guiding us as we prepare to walk across the stage to receive our diplomas. We, the class of 2017, want to take a moment to thank you for keeping us safe, guiding us towards our goals. Bless each of us as we begin this new chapter in our lives. Help us remember we can do anything with your help. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please stand.